Long back, I and Sachin in 2000 discovered licensing, and it has taken us about 15, 16 years to bring a show together. We always believed that India has a huge opportunity for not only international IPs to come and unlock here, but also a huge, equal bigger opportunity of Indian IPs to unlock for the world. And that was a dream, so it is indeed a pride, and now we have such a great personality, Mr. Padam Shri Sanjeev Kapoor with us, and I genuinely feel that he is a great IP to be unlocked for the world, right? And similarly, common man, Shri R.K. Laxman ji created an IP which I think we can give it to the world. So this show is special because not only we are trying to bring in world best practices or great IPs which can be unlocked for a market like India, which is a great consumption market. Overall licensing globally contributes about $240 billion. It's just starting to happen. And we partnered with Lima. Lima has been a great, great sport to us. Thank you for being presiding here. And when we started with Lima many years back, it was very difficult for even to convince people that how licensing works, how do you respect IP, how do we encourage manufacturers in India to acquire international brands or labels. And now I think we've started to see people respecting the importance of a brand. And we have also started producing some great brands. One of the brands I'm extremely proud, and I don't know if they are in the audience, is called Chhota Bheem. While we have a huge respect for, so we have a huge respect for Disney's and the cartoon networks, but we also have a huge respect for our homegrown IPs. So I think India would be an excellent marketplace for licensing, which would bridge these global IPs to enter Indian market, and also encourage that if we can produce some of our own IPs, which we can take it to the world. So I welcome once again each member and everybody who supported us in making this show happen.
Thank you very much for this opportunity, and always good to know much more than what you have known all these years. So things like this give me an opportunity to learn so much more. When I started working in our field, I was doing things, I was just cooking, and there was an environment which knew me, which was, so back in 1992, much before I started TV show, I got the award for Best Executive Chef of the country. So our community knew me, and over a period of time, I began to realize that there are more people who would want to eat what I cook. But since I would work in a hotel, that was not possible. And thankfully then TV started, the reach started to become big. And I realized that mediums of mass reach can create a desire, can create an aspiration for people to consume what you have to offer. And that starts for someone like me, let's say a chef, starts from the core area of expertise, which is food, and food in an environment which is limiting, let's say one restaurant. So how do you go on from one thing to the other? And over a period of time, with the internet coming in, and for 1996, 97, when I launched our website, I realized that now we were reaching more people. TV show was going to about 150 countries. Internet was taking us to all across the world. And everywhere I would go, and people would say, oh, you have become a brand in yourself. And I would say, no, I'm just a chef. That's what I am, and I continue to believe that. That's my core area of expertise. So I realized that for anyone to monetize the expertise that you have, I think that should be at the core. It's the brand, in our case, I believe that we realize that the initial expertise was cooking. Over a period of time, we realized that there were other values that we were building. And then we realized that to that core area, which was our cooking expertise, we started to build the values. And because of that, the trust started to grow. And I think today, more than anything else, whatever we do, we realize that that's the biggest core value that we want to deliver, whether it is through our own product and services that we have to offer or anything that I associate with through brand endorsements that I do. So I think when it comes to values and trust, India is, I think, it's been a global leader for years, but it's unfortunate that we have not been able to monetize this core value of India, of values and the overall, the Eastern philosophy of India. Maybe in some sense, generic yoga has been something which is pretty big as an Indian value. But I think there are many things which we can take to the world, and I'm happy and very happy to see and be part of this event today, that maybe this is the turning point, maybe this is the day when we say that India will be at forefront of many brands, and maybe all of us here collectively would contribute in some meaningful way. That is my hope and desire.
Market in itself is for licensing. May I please request Mr. Dan to kindly step up on the podium and speak a little. If you want to come up and speak a little about licensing in India, you could speak from there. It's good that you're sitting here very tall. I'll feel very bad.
Can you hear me okay?
Thank you so much.
So, I've been, firstly, I love India. Thank you for a warm welcome. I arrived at 2 a.m. last night, so I'm still wide awake. But I've been coming to India for about 20 years on holiday as a tourist, and about 8 years for business. My responsibilities at Viacom Nickelodeon Consumer Products are to manage the emerging markets, and this is from obviously India, Africa, Russia, CIS, Central and Eastern Europe. So lots of diverse and very interesting territories. But I must admit, India is unique when it comes to the markets I've worked across. So it's very dynamic. I love the enthusiasm, the passion that I find in India every time I come here. Although the last time I visited was when the currency denomination happened. When I took off from London, my money was worth something. When I landed, it wasn't. So that was something I didn't wish to repeat. And but again, it was a very interesting trip. I never have a dull visit when I come over to India. But for me, the key thing, and I know that a lot we're going to go through more in more detail tomorrow in the Q&A panel, where we've got some specific questions. But for me, India is a market where the growth potential is huge. Viacom as a business, we have our joint venture called Viacom 18 in India. So we have a huge team. We've invested heavily along with Network 18 as the other half of the partnership. So we're here, we've been here for a long time, and we are here for the long term. So this is a key territory for us. Our CEO was on the board and may still be on the board of Viacom 18, and he's recently been promoted to the CEO of Viacom, the parent company. So again, India has a special place for him in his heart as well. And so I think for us, we remain committed. We're always looking for new opportunities here. We see the growth and the dynamic potential of the market. I think there is a long way to go, and there's lots of ways it will develop over time. And but as with all good things, you have to do it in the right way, step by step. And this show is a critical part of that for me. I very much support licensing shows all over the world. Over the last 3 years, I've seen a show get established in Russia, for example, and I think they're very important not only for licensors, for licensees, and everybody who is associated with the business, from retailers and consumers down. So yeah, I'm very happy to be here, and I'm very excited by new opportunities in India. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And you said you love India. We can't even begin to tell you how much we love Viacom 18. Thank you so much. That's like our lively...